Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Ranking the Albums in the Co-Captain's Chairs, our UK connection. Simon Bray and Stephen Reid. What's happening, fellas? How's everything?
Good, thank you.
Warm.
Warm?
Very warm.
And in Scotland, we don't say that word very often, so it's warm.
We call that here in the States Indian summer, when it gets really warm in like September and early October, and it's supposed to be cooling down. So,
well, we call it in Scotland unheard of. It's nice. I'm not complaining. Bring it on. Yes.
There you go. There you go. All right. So we are going to rank the catalog of a very, very cool band that perhaps some of our viewers have seen here on the channel or on the website in the past. They've only been around for what, 6 years, something like that, 7 years. They're called Cats in Space. I know it's kind of like a crazy name, but it's a crazy good band. To describe them is even more challenging. We have thrown out in various discussions and reviews things like Queen and 10cc and Styx and Boston and Supertramp and ELO and City Boy. Am I missing anybody, guys? I don't know. That's like they come from this stew pot of classic 70s and 80s sounds, but they can write fantastic melodies, amazing hooks. They can play, they can sing. Like I said, they're called Cats in Space. They have 4 albums. Every one of them, to me, if it's not a drop dead classic, it's pretty damn close to it. And they're probably one of the best bands that has come out of the UK in the last decade, as far as I'm concerned. You know, talking hard rock, pop, prog, pomp, whatever, a little bit everything they do. 4 albums, really hard to rank. I changed my ranking 5 times in the span of like 20 minutes because I'm like, no, I like this one a little bit. No, I got to put this one here. Back and forth, back and forth. I might do it again after we're done with the show. And I'm sure Simon and Stephen will probably agree there. So Stephen, we're going to have you kick us off with your number 4 of this very, very good but short discography.
Okay, so a little bit of background on the band, or not so much background. It's maybe worth mentioning that these guys are, shall we say, a little bit more mature. That's maybe a good way of putting it. So, you know, there's a little bit of, not so much history, there's not a huge amount of links with some, you know, big name acts, but these guys have been around for a long, long time. So, you know, so you've got initially Paul Manzi on vocals, who people will know from Arena. He's currently with the Suite. You've got Greg Hart on guitars, who was in a band called Marionette, who were an excellent kind of AOR melodic rock band. Andy Stewart on keyboards was also in that band as well. You've got Dean Howard, who has been in a band called Air Race, who were excellent. Air Race were really good. Was in Bad Company, or helped out with Bad Company for a short space of time. He's been on a Gillan album. You've got Jeff Brown on bass, who was with the Suite, and State Trooper with your favourite, Gary Barton, Peter, saying nothing. That's a different conversation entirely. And Stevie Bacon on drums, who more a session guy, but been involved with lots of things, Robin Trower and various acts like that. So these guys have been around the course a little bit before the band Cats in Space arrived. And what I would say is also worth mentioning is there's a real old school vibe about them, not just the music, but the way that they kind of carry themselves. You go on their website and they sell lots of physical product. There's lots of kind of limited edition singles. It's almost like, you know, there's an era that they come from, that they adore, and they're going to relive that. And for people like me who really love and live that, it absolutely works, you know? So they have a logo, and they also have a very recognizable Cats in Space little kind of mascot sort of thing. It's not a name as far as I'm aware, but it shows up in different ways on their albums. So this is my number 4. This is Day Trip to Narnia. So yeah, they don't really take themselves massively seriously. Another old school kind of thing is they do love to put great artwork together. All of the physical product is well worth the time and effort. But more importantly, the music is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I mean, tying it down is really difficult. ELO, Queen, Styx, the Suite, Boston. I've seen them live, what an experience. This band can really, really do it live. Do you know, 5-part vocal harmonies, absolutely outstanding. And this is as close as I've come to, do you know what, I'm just going to put them down and pick them up in whatever order I will actually find them in just now, and rank them in that order, because the highlights across these albums are absolutely fantastic. You've got Hologram Man on here, so there's a little bit of a comment about the kind of modern world, quite pertinent for what's just been announced in recent times about, you know, how we're using stars from the past, shall we say, who are maybe no longer with us, and kind of people are making money out of that, right, wrong, and indifferent. If people want to pay their, you know, the money for tickets, then why would they not? But you've got Chasing Diamonds on here, which is just a beautiful song. It's got a really great melodic chorus. Paul Manzi is one of my favourite vocalists and across a variety of genres in recent years, and he really turns up big time on this. And it's also got the story of Johnny Rocket, which is a good old-fashioned 7-part epic to close the album out. And it's just, you know, they're big, they're bold, they're never brash, because they're really nuanced. The arrangements are fantastic on this, you know, and there's no kind of irony involved in what they do. They sound like a band from the era that they're trying to portray. They don't sound like they're copying. They don't just kind of feel like, well, they're trying to capture a moment. If you played these albums and take into the fact that production is absolutely modern, cutting edge and fantastic, but you listen to them, they just sound like these classic bands. They sound like they belong in that era, and they're as good as what came out of that era. And I'm still talking about album number 4. So yes, Day Trip to Narnia is my number 4.
Yeah, and I do want to mention the artist who works on all of their albums is Andrew Kitson, a very nice gentleman who does a fantastic job. I mean, yeah, it's just gorgeous stuff, right? You know, one of the things, you know, you mentioned a couple of really cool things there. Their dedication to the physical product and the idea of artwork and all that, to me, I think reminds me of kind of how Magnum looks at that as well, where they put so much work into the design of the physical product, and it almost becomes identifiable as, you know, a Magnum album, here a Cats in Space album. You got to have all these elements, right, for the full packaging. So, yeah. Simon, what do you got for number 4?
Well, my number 4 is Day Trip to Narnia as well, and I've got the vinyl copy. Oh, look at that. Sexy.
Wow.
As well.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but it's not just that, it's just like the whole thing. It's just really, really cool. But that, I mean, who cares about that? Because if the music was crap, you'd think, you know, I like you probably bought albums to thought, God, that artwork's a bit cool. But the music's fantastic. You know, like Stephen was saying, tomorrow this will be number 1. Right now it's number 4 because I've listened to them in a particular order today. You know, when I got the running order of the shows wrong. But yes, there are, you know, Johnny Rocket. It's a bit flawed, is the whole concept, but just the chutzpah to go for it. You know, what should we do? 27-minute concept. Let's do it. And it's just awesome. I would like to point out that she talks too much. No, it's just a bit misogynistic. Just no.
Yeah, lyrically,
Yeah.
it's questionable. As a song, it's
That's
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Yes, but the concept, yeah. But unicorns just so bouncy and happy and bouncy pop music. You know, they straddle that area between power pop and classic rock, and it's great. But there's, I think, they sound, as Pete was saying, like the bands that they're trying to, for want of a better word, emulate. You know, the sound in pieces, in bits like Queen, like City Boy, like Styx. When I saw them live, I thought, holy shit, this is actually Styx. Oh no, it's not. But the harmonies and everything were there. And I think, was it the Christmas single, which I've got somewhere on vinyl upstairs, where they actually aped being on top of the pops in the 70s. That's the one.
This album, here we go.
Yeah, the video.
Christmas.
Yes, I'm sure the video aped, did the whole, Cats in Space and stuff. And, I could imagine something like Silver and Gold, for instance, being on top of the pops. It's got that kind of 70s kind of bit piloty kind of pilot, not piloted, but you know what I mean. I'm Scottish. A pilot kind of sound, and it's a really excellent record, and probably says something about the strength of the other three. That two of us have currently got this at number 4.
Yeah. Well, so like I mentioned before, I had a really hard time with this ranking. I moved things around so many times, and I originally had that at number 4, and then I was like, I think I'm going to bump it up a little bit. I may surprise you guys here. At number 4, which is the only one I've never owned, so I've only actually had to listen to it online, and it's, since it came out, is Too Many Gods, their debut from 2015. It's great though. It's absolutely great. I mean, it's a smashing debut. Title track to me is, man, I mean, like Simon said, it's like it Styx 1978 all over again. You got to do a double take. I mean, all the different vocalists, the multi-part harmonies, great. Stop is a great song. Last Man Standing, catchy as all hell with those amazing, like Brian May style guitars. I mean, God, it's like Queen all over again. Mr. Heartache sounds like Boston mixed with a little 10cc pop. Who wouldn't want to listen to that, right? The Greatest Story Never Told, a little mini epic, fantastic, only in Vegas, so much fun. It's a great debut. Today it's my number 4. Could change my mind tomorrow. Any of these could be number 1. That's how strong this catalog is. So back to Stephen.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I will be honest and say that I have completely changed the 4 round more than once today. I did it just as we came to sit down to do what we're doing today, and I'm about to do it as we speak.
On the fly.
Because I just am, and that's the way that it is. And I'll maybe shock you here, Peter, because my number 3 is the newest album. So that's Atlantis. So this was from, I think it was last year. Yeah. One of my favourite albums of the year. And that shows you the standard we're talking about here. So they went and they did the impossible. I'm telling you how fantastic Paul Manzi is. You can't replace a vocalist of that standard. You just can't do it. Well, hello, Damien Edwards, because yes, you can. Yes. You can do it, and you can arguably do it and then some. Because I mean, there's a case of the Delps here, isn't there? It's just, he's got such a rich vocal, such a strong vocal. There's fragility in there, but never in that way that you ever kind of worry about what's going to happen. It's just more that emotional range that he can throw into these songs. And the whole album is just fantastic. But things like I Fell Out of Love with Rock and Roll, which they didn't really listen to. They really didn't. They really didn't. Magic Loving Feeling, Sunday Best, listen to the radio. I mean, it's absolutely killer stuff, isn't it?
I gushed about that song all last year. I mean, literally, that was probably one of my favorite songs of last year.
I mean, in 2020, if you heard a radio hit, that was it, wasn't it?
It should have been. Yeah.
Classic radio hit. If we still had outlets for that kind of music, everybody would be singing that song right now, because that's how massive it is. And yet, I mean, I'm still piddling away with a promo here, which I was lucky enough to be sent, and it's fantastic and it's numbered, but it's not the beautiful thing that the finished article is, and I haven't bought one yet. I'm really sorry, but yeah, it's absolutely outstanding, and it really. And I was genuinely worried, because I really am a Manzi fan, and it was one of those.
Coming up momentarily.
It's fine. It's okay. I'm finished.
My number 3 is Atlantis by Cats in Space. Look at this. Oh, look, that's beautiful. Look at it. Oh, look, it opens up. It's gatefold. Oh, look.
Peter,
talking about a punch to the gut.
Is he finished yet? Is he finished yet? Has it gone?
Just the inside as well. Look. Oh, yeah. Look, it's just such quality products. And you were saying that you can't replace Paul Manzi, but didn't you replace him between?
Yes, they did.
With what's he called, Mark Pascal for a minute, and didn't they only ever speak by WhatsApp or something weird like that?
That's very true. Yes. So they did replace him, but they didn't replace him. But then they did replace him.
Yes. But ultimately, it all turned out right. It's a great record. And I think any you know, I know that we've said in the past, you know, oh God, intro songs, no. But when the intro song actually features a vocoder, moog, and a guitar orchestration, I can get down with that.
Yeah.
I can do that. And then it goes straight into Spaceship Superstar. I mean, yeah, already. Yes, indeed. And there's Revolution, like it starts off with the line, there's a monkey in the White House. Okay. It's just like the most mild-mannered revolution of all time. It's a little bit middle class. It's a nice revolution. We're going to eat cake and all that kind of stuff. It's really quite. You mentioned Magnum earlier. It is very, you know, English kind of take on pomp slash. I'm going to go with pomp. I like that I pulled that out. It is pretty pompy. Of classic rock. You know, it's classic rock, and yet, you know, I've never seen the videos, or I haven't seen them live. I've never heard them anywhere. Never, you know, not once, not ever seen them on the radio or on the TV. You know,
you should have. I mean, that's the thing. This stuff should be all over.
Maybe it's because they're old. And also, didn't Dean Howard used to be into POW at one point?
Oh, was he?
I'm sure
I'm
he
not going to
was.
argue, but there you go.
Sure.
I mean, I do like a little bit of heart and soul.
I see what you did. Yeah. That's my number 3. Isn't it sexy? I think I'll maybe put it up on the wall for next time.
There you go.
I
know someone who's going to be busting out the credit card tonight, huh? Guys, if you're watching this video, get ready for a couple of orders you're going to have to fill, I think, right? My number 3 is Day Trip to Narnia. I love it. Everything you guys have said. It's a great album. It originally was my number 4, but then I was like, but man, like I said, I have a little bit more of a connection with that than the debut because I never actually owned the debut. But I think Day Trip rocks. It's probably up to that point. I think it's one of their, you know, their most, up until the new one, of course. Johnny Rocket, killer. Hologram Man and Narnia. I mean, I love the lyrics, playful, and it's, you know, stories we can relate to. I like the mix of pop and prog and hard rock and in the arrangements, pomp, whatever you want to call it. Chasing Diamonds, great song. Silver and Gold, great song. Just a great album. So memorable. Love the artwork. What's not to like about it? So it's my number 3. Could be higher, could be lower. Doesn't matter. It's great.
So my number 2, and there's a reason why you've never owned the debut, Peter. Do you know what that reason is?
Well, my guess it's probably out of print. You probably can't buy it, or
because you sent it to me.
I sent it to you
many years ago in a box of CDs that some I'm sure were fantastic and others were okay, but none of them were as quite as good as this. Do you know, with its nice wee promo thing here. And yet I did sell out on it. This is remarkably hard to find. So this is Too Many Gods. Okay, this is the debut, and it's remarkably hard to find to the extent that they had to go and do one of these. So this is an absolutely beautiful remaking of it, which is just absolutely stunning. It's everything that it should be, do you know, and there's bonus tracks and a whole load of different things.
Is that still available, or is that out of print too?
I don't know if it's out of print, but I bought this not all that long ago. So I would hope that on their website that this is still available, but I can't guarantee it, as he says, dazzling everybody. It's just a thing of absolute beauty, so it is, do you know. But the whole album is just outstanding. This made a real impact on me because nobody's doing this kind of thing. Do you know, this is I think it's a lost art almost. There are some bands who are kind of, I mean, Space Elevator, if anybody's heard them, they're along this sort of line. I like them. I don't quite think they're in this league. Do you know? Not for me. They're a good band.
They're better visually.
Well, I'm not going to argue too much with that. You know, this is Cats in Space, but who doesn't like a cat suit, Simon? But anyway, then you've got things like Night Flight Orchestra. I mean, they're a little bit more, you know, Americanized in their sound, but that's kind of the same era. Lots of people love them. Nothing wrong with them. They just don't tick the boxes for me. That's a different discussion. I appreciate that. But this debut absolutely hit the spot. And as I say, having seen them live, very lucky to see them live. They were playing a stadium that was the size of my foot, do you know, because the projection coming off the stage was just phenomenal. You know, there's some bands that you go see in a small venue, and they play to this crowd that's there. That's what they're doing. They're playing to the however many people were there, a couple of hundred, if you're lucky, to be honest. Okay. But they were playing to 20,000 people. That show was projected. Do you know, they were throwing the shapes, they had the poise, they had everything about them to suggest that they were headlining a massive stadium show. And it was not that, but man, oh man, did you get to the end of the show and just think, oh, I've been to a stadium show in the Oranmore in Glasgow, and it was just fantastic. Do you know? But anyway, the debut, Too Many Gods, The Last Man Standing, of which there are a variety of different versions, but that's just an outstanding song. The vocal on that is just ridiculously good. 5 Minute Celebrity. You can tell there's an awful lot of disdain for the modern showbiz world, can't you? And across a lot of what goes on here. Unfinished Symphony, Stop, is fantastic. Such a good album. And it's one of 3 that's been at my number 1 at one point today. So there you go. The whole catalogue comes highly recommended, but that's the debut. Too Many Gods. Love it.
Cool. All right, Simon.
Can't pull the vinyl up. However, it is a great record. It is a really, really great record. Like you said, just I've nothing really to add. Apart from 5 Minute Celebrity is just fantastic. What a great tune. Haven't they recently redone Mr. Heartache?
Yeah, they did with Mr. Edwards. Yeah,
and that's pretty cool as well. And just like tune after tune after tune after tune. It's just an excellent record. But I noticed that we don't have it at number 1 yet. And it's never actually been I've consistently stayed with the same album at number 1.
Okay.
Which I do have on vinyl.
More of that in a minute, right?
Yes, very much so.
I do want to mention, because I probably should have mentioned this at the top of the show, but Mr. Greg Hart, guitar player, will be coming on Sea of Tranquility in about a week and a half. So everybody stay tuned for that. He's going to talk about their new kind of like hits collection that's coming out. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about what the future, what we've got in the future for Cats in Space, because I think they're already working on new material for a brand new album. So stay tuned for that, everybody. My number 2 is going to be Atlantis in 2020. Pretty high up, right? It was, like Stephen mentioned, it was one of my favorites last year. It was, I believe it was a top 10 for me. And I think Damien has stepped in, done an amazing job. He is so good on this. New singer, no problem. Pretty rocking album too, which I like. A lot of anthems. I mean, it's like one after another. As Simon mentioned, Spaceship Superstar is fucking great. Listen to the Radio for me is like the best song that Boston never did. It's got that just commanding hook, and it rocks. It's just, I told anybody who would listen last year, people complain about how there's no good music coming out. I'm like, listen to this song. I'm telling you, listen to this song, listen to this album. I Fell Out of Love with Rock and Roll is great. Queen of the Neverland, Marionette, again, sounds like vintage Styx circa 1977. I love the emotional title track and how it builds and builds and builds. I mean, that last like minute and a half of the song is just like chills go up and down my back, when I listen to it. So I just love this album. It could have been my favorite, but my favorite is the first one I ever heard from them, and I still have a soft spot for it. So back to you.
So my number 1, therefore, is Scarecrow from 2017. This is just masterful. It's absolutely masterful. Do you know? It covers so much ground, and it does it with such style, such character. You're drawn into it. You sing every song. The production on these albums is fantastic. Yeah. That's definitely worth mentioning. You know, there are some albums out there that you turn the volume up because you think, oh, I want to hear this loud, and it just gets louder. You turn the volume up on these albums and it fills the room. You know, every single corner of that room is just doused in harmonies and guitar solos, and such a great and honest feel. There's an honesty about this. They believe in this. They absolutely adore what they're doing, and it comes across in the music, and that is just priceless. It's absolutely priceless. I mean, a song like "Clown in Your Nightmare" shouldn't work. Do you know? There's a clown in your nightmare at the end of your bed. It just shouldn't work. It's been here all day. And it won't move. Which is what the clown in your nightmare should do. It's just so hook laden. It's just phenomenal. Mad Hatter's Tea Party. It's City Boy meets ELO. It's just the piano work in that is fantastic. It's busy. And it's, I mean, there's a kind of show tuneness about some of what they do. It's
I'm rubbing off on you, man. You're doing more musical karaoke.
And there's no reggae. No, there's no reggae. Anyway.
No reggae.
I mean, I'm not going to go through every song and tell you how great it all is and tell you that September Rain's fantastic or that Felix and the Golden Sun's phenomenal. And I won't, because you two need to talk about this album too, don't you? So, yeah, Scarecrow. This is, if anything that we've spoken about kind of strikes a chord, go get it. You can go get it right now.
Yep, immediately. All right, show it off, Simon. We know you got it.
I know that you said that you're not going to talk about every song and then pretty much talk about every song. But yeah, look at this. Oh, isn't it so? It's just phenomenal stuff. It really is.
I'm just further away.
What? I imagine it sounds so much better on vinyl. I bet it does. I bet it just, you know it does, doesn't it? You know, how good must Clown in Your Nightmare be on vinyl? How good must the keys at the start of Mad Hatter's Party sound on vinyl when it's all around the room? You know it makes sense, Steve. You know it does. It really does. I don't think they mentioned Skies, but that's lovely. I have no idea why there's a world in which September Rain wasn't a hit. You know why? What? You know what's wrong with the world?
Yeah, no, we've not got time for that. However,
pretending to freeze there. Yeah, because again, and I'll say this every week. It's just super commercial as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah.
Why am I not hearing it everywhere I go?
Yeah.
You know, just don't know. It's really concise pop rock, power pop, 70s pop rock. It's just great shit. Really is. Just like I think you said, masterful. I don't even know what it's about this album. It's just really great. Really, and it's consistently been my number one all since we decided we're doing this at 5 o'clock today.
Well, since you decided we were doing this at 5 o'clock today, we knew long before.
No, we weren't. No. But yeah, fortunately, I've been thinking about it, you know, for a while, and it's just a great record.
I mean, to be serious for a moment, sorry. If ever you needed proof that the people that are deciding what we listen to on mainstream TV and radio is filled with pretentious arseholes, it's the fact that you can't hear phenomenal music like this. It's just completely shoved to the side and ignored. It angers me that there are serious music shows over here in the UK, or they think they're serious music shows that cover all genres, apart from stuff like this.
Yeah.
They just will not touch it. They just will not go near it. And it doesn't matter if it's heavier than this or if it's more commercial than this. They just won't touch it. And I don't understand why. People really would like this if they heard it. It's just so good. And anyone that I've played this to that kind of likes things around the sort of realm, wow, they're brilliant. I mean, my family sings along with this. They don't sing along with everything that I listen to, let's be honest. I just
because they're listening to reggae. Or the Smiths.
Or the Smiths, I was just going to say.
Thankfully, there's none of that played in this house. It's bad enough that every now and again I have to say, turn the cure off, just turn that off. Okay, it's bad enough that I have to say that every now and again in this house. There is no reggae. This is a reggae-free zone. The only reggae that happens in this house comes from me.
Mimicking reggae, right? Yeah, there you go. Well, you said a lot of really important things there. And I hate to throw out the whole, well, maybe they came to the game way too late if they release albums like this in 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82. It does big business. I don't know, but I mean, here's the thing. And it's like, whenever I meet someone who is in the age group, let's say 45 to 60, they are going to remember all these other bands that we talked about during this episode, right? Queen, ELO, City Boy, 10cc, Styx, blah, 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 whatever. You can name a whole bunch more. So it's like, that's the people who should be listening to this stuff, right? Because they remember music like this. They love music like this. And we don't need to get into a whole debate about the people that just refuse to listen to anything new. It's like, well, it's not the album they grew up with. So as great as it might be to us, to them, I don't care about it, right? Which is a shame. But, if the powers that be in the music industry promoted this, then people would listen to it, because that's what people do, right? They listen to what's kind of thrown at them. So enough about all that. Great production on this album. It's my number one. Gee, no surprise there. I will say my history with this band, I would have never experienced this band if Steven didn't give it like a 5 out of 5 star, which he almost never does. Neither of you guys ever do. And I was like, if Steven gave it 5 stars, this has got to be really good. And then I think you ranked it. What was it? How did it rank at the end of the year for you? Was it your number one, or was it top 5?
One or two. It was one or two.
Right.
I need to go back and look, but yeah, it was up there.
So I saw all this, and I read your review again, and you mentioned all the usual suspects that we talked about, and I'm like, God, I probably would really like this. I think I sent you an email, and you're like, oh, this would totally be up your alley. So I went and I ordered a copy, and I got it, and I was like, holy shit, where has this band been all my life in the last 30 years? And it's just, I still, like you guys said, this was immediately put in my number one. The other 3 could all be tied for number 2. That probably is the way, but this is still my favorite. Jupiter Calling. Yeah, stunning. I mean, Boston meets Queen. I don't know any other better way to describe it. Title track is total prog. The Mad Hatter's Tea Party, Broken Wing. I mean, just great, immediately addicting songs. Irresistible pop hooks throughout this album. Muscular guitars. Time Bomb sounds again like classic Styx. I think it's just a perfect album that ticks off all the boxes, scratches all those itches. If you like this sort of thing, right? And I can't imagine who wouldn't. And plus the artwork is just beautiful. Looks better on Simon's LP, but still pretty stunning here on this little CD as well. Yeah, a great catalog, a great band. They should be huge. We could do tons of shows about bands of today that should be huge and aren't, and why. These guys are, if not the top of the list, they're pretty damn close to it.
I've been researching while you were talking. I am such a dick that I had Scarecrow as my number 1 of 2017. Brackets, one of this year's best Styx albums. Number three, I had The Mission by Styx, another of this year's best Styx albums. I'm sorry.
Pretty good, right? 2017, got 2 great Styx albums, right?
Very much so.
I just noticed things got completely dark over here. I'm like, what the hell is going on? It must be that storm that's setting and getting ready. All of a sudden, the sun is like completely gone outside. I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And I also point out that they've got a live album.
Yeah.
Which I've never heard. It's got to be, of course, yeah.
Got a CD as well. It's a part of a package. But yeah, I mean, it's quite even that section. Did I mention the? Whoa, look at that!
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is really bizarre. On the vinyl, it's just 2 lots of side 1. So, the second lot. So, Mr. Heartache, Greatest Story Never Told, and 5 Minute Celebrity do not appear on the vinyl.
So you're telling me that both sides have the same music on them. So this is literally the show that never ends.
Yeah.
So do you have a mispressing, or does somebody have? I think somebody's got your side 2. I think somebody's got one that's only got side 2 on that.
I'm now talking to the only two other people that I know that like the band. You peasants don't have the vinyl. Yeah, I'm just saying. But just a bit weird. I mean, it's a great side one.
So, was it meant to be a double single album, do you think?
It's just 6 songs. They were supporting Thunder, weren't they, when it was recorded in Cardiff? And yeah, I'm sure the second 3 songs were great. In fact, I know they are because I've listened to both the stream and the CD. But it's just a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
That is a bit weird. Yes.
I think
Maybe you can ask Greg
later. Like, what can we still get? What is still available, right? Because
ask Greg when you see him. Why has Simon got a weird copy of the vinyl?
Penance for making everybody else suffer for having all those vinyls. That's what it is.
yeah, there you go.
Well, if he's wearing clothes and eating food, it's probably from me. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have this. I mean, there's lots of 7-inch singles, and it's really, you go on the website and you could genuinely just empty your bank account into theirs, but it's quality stuff. They don't muck around. There's no rubbish. So yeah, I love the way they do things. I really do love the way they do things.
They do need to reissue the first album.
Yes, again, unless that is still available. I can't tell you if it is or not. Never
Not on vinyl.
Talking, guys. I'm just looking for something here. I found it. I do have something to show you both.
Oh. See, suddenly your vinyl looks quite ordinary, Simon.
I forgot. I completely forgot that I had this. They said.
I feel like he doesn't, but
I'm trying.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but it is also autographed.
Oh no, it does. Although so's the and they do a lot of autograph stuff, don't they? They really do try their best. So
yeah,
numbered promo.
Is that when number 78 was the lead singer?
Yes.
Yeah, I have one too. I don't remember what mine is numbered. If I could have found it, it's about like I said. I think it's in my car. But yeah,
I'm trying my best here. I'm trying my best.
So there you have it, everybody. So please, if there are folks watching this who have listened to us gush about this band for the last close to hour and have never listened to them, please go out and listen to any of these 4 albums. Pick any one of them. Doesn't matter. And if you love a lot of the bands we talked about, you love just good, I mean, Simon put it perfectly, just good, catchy, hook-laden, classic rock. That's what these guys are. If you were around in the late 70s and the 80s, and remember when these songs were on the radio with big hooks and choruses, hitting crunchy guitars and keyboards, and that's what these guys are all about. It's just fun, melodic music that just we don't understand why this band isn't enormous. So pick any of these albums. So you got Scarecrow, Atlantis, Day Trip to Narnia, and Too Many Gods. That's all there is. I'm sure you can find places to listen to them, stream them, and go to their website. If you like what you hear, please order whatever they got available. And I'm telling you, this is one of the best bands going today. So there you go, everybody. So thanks for watching. We greatly appreciate it. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. So I got a question for you both and everybody watching, based on the comments from the album homework assignment show that you guys did together, which has been a big hit. People want to see a part 2 of that. Are you guys up for it?
Do you know, I was sitting the other day thinking, could I do a part 2 of that? I've already chosen the album.
There you have it. All right, done deal. So stay tuned. Probably, let's see if maybe either later this month or early. I think we're, based on the schedule, the second week or so of October, which is not that far off. You will see these 2 gentlemen once again talking about albums they've been assigned that they've never heard before. So we'll let them discuss amongst themselves. I don't need to know what they are. They did a fine job of that last time. I love being surprised by these things, and we'll see what we get. So stay tuned for that and a lot more. For Simon Bray and Stephen Reid, I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching. Give some love to Cats in Space. Go check out the music. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you real soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.